I spoke on Pierce Morgan. I said that I had three victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great.
For years, Jaguar Wright has claimed that powerful people in the music industry know secrets the public was never supposed to hear. But when her accusations turned toward Beyoncé, the story took a darker turn, from industry power and alleged manipulation to sacrifice, mysterious deaths, and occult theories. And now, the question is no longer simply what Jaguar is claiming. It is whether any of it can actually be proven. What if the story behind Beyoncé's success isn't the story people have been told? That is the question at the center of one of Hollywood's most explosive conspiracy theories. Jaguar Wright has spent years accusing powerful figures in music of hiding disturbing secrets. But her allegations surrounding Beyoncé allegedly involve something much darker, claims of sacrifice, hidden victims, and a network of powerful people protecting one another. Then the story leads toward Aaliyah, then Kathy White, and eventually Cat Williams enters the conversation with his own description of Hollywood's hidden power structure. None of these allegations establish Beyoncé's guilt, but together, they create a mystery that refuses to disappear. So where does the documented story end and the conspiracy begin? Jaguar Wright is the person driving this entire story. For years, she has publicly discussed what she describes as the darker side of the music business. Her accusations have repeatedly focused on powerful figures, particularly Jay-Z and Diddy. But Beyoncé eventually became one of her biggest targets. And Jaguar's argument is bigger than simple celebrity drama. She suggests that the entertainment industry operates through relationships, influence, fear, and protection, and that people at the top can allegedly control what becomes public and what disappears. That is why her claims about Beyoncé became so controversial, because Jaguar wasn't simply saying Beyoncé was powerful. She was suggesting that the power itself had a darker. But before getting to the most extreme theories, there is a more grounded question. What does power actually look like inside the industry? One of the interviews referenced in these transcripts comes from Rihanna discussing her early experience entering that world.
Be uncomfortable.
Audition. But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he said it one word.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed.
Rihanna's account does not prove wrongdoing by Beyoncé or Jay-Z, but it provides important context. Young artists can enter an industry where executives, labels, managers, producers, and established stars possess enormous influence over their careers. And Beyoncé's own rise was extraordinary. She spent years with Destiny's Child before becoming one of the biggest solo artists in the world. That success is documented. The conspiracy begins with what some people believe happened behind the scenes. Beyoncé's rise required years of work. Rehearsals, recording, touring, performances, brand building, and an almost relentless level of public discipline. But conspiracy theories surrounding her career ask a different question. Was talent and hard work the entire story? Jaguar Wright has alleged that Beyoncé's success came with a darker price, including claims involving sacrifice and rituals. There is no independent evidence presented in these transcripts proving those allegations. Still, the theory gained momentum because Beyoncé's rise was so dramatic. After Destiny's Child, she became the dominant figure, and the women who had once stood beside her increasingly became known in relation to her. That dynamic has occasionally produced frustration in public. Kelly Rowland, for example, has openly expressed annoyance when interviews about her own projects repeatedly turned back toward Beyoncé.
Dropped a whole new couple of songs, and it's my understanding that Renaissance 2 may or may not be country based. And then there's a rumor going around that Renaissance 3 may be either rock based or a DC reunion.
That is her business to talk about.
We still gotta ask every time we see either you. We never see Billy. Come on.
No, but just ask them. I'm here talking about Mia Culpa.
Okay.
Talking about new music, all the talk this week has been about Beyonce's new album. Have you heard it yet? Have you had an opportunity to give some thoughts on the whole thing?
I sure have. It's great. It's absolutely great.
Really different though, right?
Yes, really different. But getting back to what I'm here to talk about, Claritin, I'm very excited to be teaming up with Claritin.
That moment doesn't prove Beyoncé deliberately pushed anyone aside, but it illustrates an undeniable reality. Beyoncé's fame became so enormous that even people with their own careers could struggle to escape her shadow. For conspiracy theorists, that became part of a larger pattern, and eventually that pattern expanded to women connected to Jay-Z. Names such as Blue Cantrell, Maya, and Rita Ora have repeatedly appeared in online discussions involving Jay-Z, Beyoncé, relationships, career opportunities, and alleged industry fallout. But these stories have very different circumstances. Some involve nothing more than rumors, some were publicly denied, and none by themselves establish a coordinated campaign. Then there was Aaliyah. Before Beyoncé became Jay-Z's wife, Aaliyah was already one of the most admired young stars of music. The transcripts describe a complicated history involving Jay-Z and Dame Dash, both of whom were reportedly interested in Aaliyah. And that rivalry became part of the mythology. Since her death, Dame Dash later discussed the competition surrounding Aaliyah and Jay.
Kind of eased up, but then we ran into each other. It's a long story.
So you and Jay was both getting at Aaliyah, obviously.
Everybody was getting at Aaliyah, bro.
Right.
She was like, she'll go to dinner with a, but she wasn't going to just be smashing. So that was like the big deal, like who could get with Aaliyah.
That interview establishes the existence of interpersonal tension and competition discussed by people close to the situation, but it does not establish that jealousy caused Aaliyah's death. Aaliyah died in a plane crash in the Bahamas in 2001. The circumstances surrounding the crash have been discussed and debated for years. The conspiracy version goes much further. It claims Aaliyah may have been reluctant to board the aircraft and that questions surrounding the flight deserve greater scrutiny. Jaguar Wright later invoked similar claims when discussing Aaliyah. And that is where a real tragedy becomes part of a much larger theory. But there is an important line that cannot be crossed without evidence. A suspicious circumstance is not automatically evidence of murder, and a conspiracy theory is not automatically a fact. Jaguar Wright says her knowledge goes beyond rumors. She has claimed that she has spoken to numerous alleged victims and that some were willing to testify. That is an extraordinary allegation.
I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane.
But what do we actually have? We have Jaguar's public statement. What we do not have in these transcripts is courtroom testimony from those alleged victims, independently verified evidence establishing the accusations, or a judicial finding against Beyoncé based on these claims. That distinction matters. Because once allegations involve violence, trafficking, or deaths, the standard cannot simply be whether the story sounds it has to be evidence. Yet Jaguar continued. She connected Jay-Z and Beyoncé to a wider entertainment industry network involving Diddy and other powerful figures. And that is where another voice becomes relevant. Not because he proves Jaguar's accusations, but because he has separately spent years talking about Hollywood power. Cat Williams. Cat Williams has repeatedly described Hollywood as an environment where powerful people allegedly protect their interests and where artists who refuse certain paths can find themselves isolated. His comments have become central to online discussions about the so-called Hollywood cabal.
The number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. A cabal, it's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. When I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts.
Cat's comments are significant as a perspective, but they are not confirmation of Jaguar Wright's specific allegations against Beyoncé. There was a difference between saying Hollywood contains powerful networks, something that is hardly unusual, and claiming that those networks conduct secret rituals or orchestrate deaths. That second claim requires extraordinary evidence. And until this point, the documentary has dealt mainly with power, relationships, careers, and alleged protection. Then the story takes a dramatic turn. Until this point, the allegations were about power, relationships, and careers. Then Jaguar's story crossed into something much darker. For years, Beyoncé has been surrounded by Illuminati and occult conspiracy theories, symbols in music videos, stage imagery, spiritual references, performance personas, and interpretations of her lyrics. Jaguar Wright has gone considerably further, alleging that Beyoncé is involved in witchcraft and darker spiritual practices. Other commentators have repeated similar theories. One of those voices is Storm Monroe.
You guys know Beyoncé is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high-ranking witch. Okay, how many people have come out and said, "Hey, shit, my cat started dying. Beyonce did this to me. I saw Beyonce do that." Like this is is nothing new.
But this needs to be separated from established fact. There is no evidence in these transcripts proving Beyoncé is a witch, belongs to an Illuminati organization, or uses black magic to maintain her career. The conspiracy theory then becomes even more elaborate. It introduces a supposed Hollywood replacement system. Madonna is portrayed as an older power figure. Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera become part of alleged initiation theories. Nicki Minaj and Mia are interpreted through another supposed transition of power, and eventually Beyoncé is portrayed as the next woman occupying that position. Again, this is conspiracy theory, not established fact. But there is one reason these theories continue to attract attention. They attempt to explain something that is otherwise difficult to explain, why some stars seem to remain dominant while others disappear. That brings the story back to Beyoncé's real-world business empire. Chloe and Halle became associated with Beyoncé and Parkwood Entertainment after gaining attention online. Their talent was undeniable. Chloe's solo career initially generated major excitement. Then online comparisons between Chloe and Beyoncé intensified. When her career did not develop exactly as some expected, conspiracy theories appeared claiming Beyoncé had intentionally stopped another potential superstar from becoming too powerful. But again, there is no established evidence proving that. The same pattern appears in discussions involving other artists. A career slows down, a relationship becomes controversial, a project fails, an artist disappears from the spotlight, and the internet connects those events to Beyoncé. That is how a pattern forms, but a pattern is not necessarily a conspiracy. And then one name pushes the entire theory into its most controversial territory: Kathy White. Who is Kathy White? According to the allegations repeated in these transcripts, she was supposedly connected romantically to Jay-Z. Her reported death was attributed to a brain aneurysm, but Jaguar Wright disputes that explanation. She was alleged that Kathy's death was connected to Jay-Z and Beyoncé. And then another piece of the conspiracy entered the conversation: Beyoncé's song Daughter. The song contains a fictional narrative involving jealousy, violence, and a woman's confrontation with her husband's alleged murder. Internet theorists began connecting those lyrics to Kathy White. The interpretation became even more extreme when claims emerged that Beyoncé had allegedly faked her pregnancy and that Blue Ivy was supposedly connected to Kathy White. These are extraordinary allegations, and there is no established evidence in supplied material. A song cannot automatically be treated as lyrics can be fictional, characters can be invented, artistic violence does not establish real-world violence. But the theory refused to disappear. Jaguar continued making the allegations, and eventually the story reached one of the biggest platforms imaginable, Piers Morgan. Jaguar appeared on Piers Morgan's program and made serious allegations involving Jay-Z and Beyoncé. They were not present to respond during the interview. Later, their lawyers contacted the program. They said the allegations were false and had no basis in fact. The disputed portions were removed. Piers Morgan publicly apologized. That moment fundamentally changed the story, because for the first time, the documentary had a direct response from the people being accused, and that response has to remain part of the story. It does not automatically prove every Jaguar allegation false, but it also cannot be ignored. And Jaguar did not disappear. She continued defending her claims and challenging media figures who had criticized her.
For real, because he said he would never sit with us.
No, I know.
Never. He said he would never sit with me. He would never have me on it. He never wanted to talk to me. Never would.
But I got receipts. Vlad, why did you reach out to Jag back in June asking for Jag to be on the show?
Why you do that, Vlad?
Vlad, why you playing in our face?
Why you lying? Why you lying on his podcast?
And Vlad and your fat wife.
We'll stop there.
Damn. Damn.
Let's be very clear. This is the email that DJ Vlad sent me, his producer sent me, asking me to appear on his podcast on YouTube just after the Cassie video was released on my birthday. I saw it. I never responded. Odell responded. Weeks and weeks later. But then again, Diddy was already in trouble, so you really didn't need to talk to me because you couldn't do much disinformation with me. I guess that's why your friend from the Star Report, or should I say the Comet Report, because he crashed out just like a comet. I guess that's why he was so upset when I started asking him relevant questions about why he's propping up a liar. At this point in time, Vlad, I think it's only fair to say that Carol Johnson, your assistant, unless you're saying you didn't know, she sent this on your behalf. You did want me on your show.
I mean, which makes sense. For the kind of content he chased,
yeah,
it makes
He's
sense.
always looking to put a case on somebody to move him out of the way.
With that being said, was it stated that you weren't going to rebuttal Vlad at that time? Did they let you know
I didn't even know Vlad was going to be on.
Oh.
Like I said, it was brilliant.
Wow.
Because everything that he said, denouncing me and then confirming me and then talking about, that all happened a day before the report about the 9-year-old boy was released.
Mm.
And before people started confirming that the video that was being shopped around was Bieber and Diddy. See, that's the problem with running your mouth, Vlad. That's the problem. You didn't realize on Monday that every word that you said was going to be invalidated on Tuesday. See, that's what happens when you're a liar. See, I didn't have to worry about what I said on Monday, because I knew what I said on Monday was going to hold up on Wednesday. The truth needs no support, just time and room.
Vax, she actually...
Yeah, she corroborated the fact that she saw the very videotapes that I said were about to be sold right here on this couch just a couple months ago. Why is everyone so late?
Don't want to believe?
I sat right here and told y'all there was activity on the darknet. Videos were being distributed and were going to be sold for profit because the diddler needs the money. Did I not say that? Right here.
Yeah.
And now we got a lawyer who has seen it. But I ain't got no receipts. Okay. You know what my receipt is? Reality and time.
Her position remained essentially the same. She believed she knew things the public had not yet fully understood. But belief is not proof. And that distinction brings us to the final question. After 5 transcripts, the story becomes much bigger than one celebrity. There are documented careers, there are real relationships, there are real deaths, there are real interviews, there are real legal responses. And then there are allegations layered over those events. Jaguar Wright says she has seen the darker side of the industry. Cat Williams describes a Hollywood system where power and connections can determine who rises and who falls. The internet sees connections between Aaliyah, Kathy White, Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Diddy, and other artists. And the witchcraft theory tell you can treat Beyoncé's extraordinary success. The common fashion buddy will always be the attraction. But none of that establishes that Beyoncé committed the acts alleged against her. The evidence presented here does not prove that Beyoncé caused Aaliyah's death. It does not prove that Kathy White was murdered. It does not prove that Beyoncé practices black magic. It does not prove an Illuminati sacrifice system. And it does not prove that artists were deliberately destroyed through supernatural rituals. At the same time, Jaguar's allegations cannot simply become facts because they are repeated enough times online. That is the gray area, and perhaps that gray area is the real story. Because celebrity power creates secrecy, secrecy creates suspicion. Suspicion creates theories, and theories can eventually become accepted online as though they were evidence. Beyoncé's guilt has not been established by these allegations. Jaguar Wright's most serious claims have not been independently established either. But the questions remain. Was the public simply connecting unrelated stories because Beyoncé became the biggest name in the room? Or are these fragments pointing toward a deeper story about power, protection, celebrity culture, and the people who control what the public gets to see? For now, the line between evidence and conspiracy remains impossible to ignore. And perhaps that is exactly why this story refuses to die. If you believe Jaguar Wright's allegations deserve deeper investigation, tell us why. If you think these stories are being connected without enough evidence, tell us that too. Kathy White, Aaliyah, the alleged sacrifices, Hollywood's power structure, which part deserves the closest scrutiny? The evidence is still the question, and the conversation is yours.